Hi, my name is Nicole Savage, and I am starting my first video diary basically. I am going to be talking about my birth story, which is very traumatic. It is pretty sad, and it ended up in loss, so please watch with caution. I am going to be starting from the very, very top, which was June 13th, which will happen to be Friday the 13th. Should have known. I should have known from that. So, starting off, I was pregnant with twins and I was 22 weeks. And this all started about 11 o'clock at night. I was at my house and I was laying down and I had like really, really tight pains, kind of like having to go to the bathroom, basically. And it was very scary for me because 5 months ago, I lost my son. And it was kind of around the same feelings. So with my son, I was 16 weeks. So I was a little bit further along with my twins. So I was starting to be in a different headspace now, because now I'm just like, okay, I met my halfway mark. I had just went to my doctor actually on Thursday or Wednesday. I apologize. It was on Wednesday that I had just went to my doctor, and basically she was like, if we can get you to 28 weeks, I'll be happy. 30 weeks is amazing, but 28 weeks. So because of the loss of my son, it was because of something called insufficient cervix, which basically means you have a short cervix or your cervix just opens early for no apparent medical reason at all. With me, found out with my twins that my cervix is short, but originally when I lost my son, it was due to incompetent cervix, and they said that it just opened early. We're not really going to be talking about him too much in this series, so I'll do another series about that if you guys want to. This is basically just for my therapy and also for awareness and for women to know that you're not alone going through infant loss, going through the NICU, because we're also going to talk about that in this series. So, June 13th, I'm laying down, I'm feeling all these pains, and I keep trying to go to the bathroom. So what I was trying to come to term with was that, oh, I'm just constipated, which is a big symptom of pregnancy. So I was just like, okay, I'm gonna get some stool softeners tomorrow or whatever. I'm just gonna try and go to the bathroom, and if if nothing happens, then it's okay. So going back to, I know I said I wasn't gonna talk about my son, but because of losing him, I had to go through a procedure called cerclage. But I went through the vaginal cerclage. So it was a procedure where they basically numb you with a spinal anesthesia, and they put a thick layer of thread, wrap it around your cervix to close it so that way it doesn't prematurely open. So with that, I had this cerclage with my twins. I wasn't fortunate enough to have it with my son. I apologize if I laugh at things that seem sad. It's how I deal with my trauma, and I have a darker sense of humor, so there will be things that people are going to be like, oh, that's a little dark for me, which is fine. It's not everybody's cup of tea. That's perfectly fine. But just to let you know. So yeah, fortunately I wasn't able to get it with my son. So because of that, I was just like, because it was the same feeling that I was having when I lost my son. I was like, oh, okay, well, because of the cerclage, nothing's going to happen from this, right? So I went to the bathroom as normal. I kept going up and down, like going to the bathroom, coming back, going to the bathroom and coming back. The third time I went to the bathroom, and I peed for a little bit, and then I was just like,
that's suspicious. That's weird.
so I stand up, still just leaking. And that was super scary for me. So I just kind of went along the lines of, oh, this could be like my water breaking. So I woke up my husband and I was like, I think my water broke. And instantly he's like, no. And I was like, yeah. So I'm like calling my doctor, or I called the doctor's office, and they were like, okay, we're going to page your doctor. And 30 minutes go by, and I'm like, this doesn't seem right. Like, even if she doesn't call me back, I'm going to start going to the hospital. So that's basically what I told my husband. I had already no, I didn't get dressed. I literally was standing on a towel on the ground because I was still leaking. So I was like, okay. I got dressed. And then I just told my husband, like, if she calls us on the way, at least we'll be already at the hospital. So we're already on our way to the hospital, and I'm like, I have my blanket on the chair because I'm like, still, it's through my pants, and my mind is going like a mile a minute. And I'm like, this can't be happening. Like, this can't be happening. I remember keep saying it, and my husband was just like, well, we don't know what's going on yet. And which is true, like, we didn't know what was going on yet, but like, your body just knows, your mind just kind of knows. And if you've dealt with loss before, you kind of just know something's not right. So we get to the hospital, and I'm thinking, like, I really don't want to have to go through like the ER. I don't want to have to wait. Not thinking that they wouldn't take me serious or anything like that. The hospital that I went to was really, really good, but I just wanted to make sure that they knew. So I found a lady, and I told her, you know, like, hey, I called ahead. I talked to my doctor's nurse, like I forget what they're called, triage nurse. Talked to her, and she was like, you know, she paged my doctor. I even called back and was like, hey, I don't know, we got disconnected, because she stopped talking randomly on the phone, and I was just like, maybe we got disconnected, and I hung up. And I called again, and she was like, oh no, we didn't get disconnected. I beeped like your nurse, I beeped your doctor. So we should see what's going on after the fact. Like, she'll call me back, whatever. It's told the I'm gonna assume she was a nurse, the nurse downstairs, and I let her know, like, hey, I like called ahead, things like that. And she was just like, okay, let's go. And she like walked me all the way up the stairs, and I was like, thank you. Still like just freaking out, leaking. My husband's up there with me. We get to the top, and I like press the button, and I'm just pacing. I'm pacing, and then like someone was just like, hi, da 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 da. And then she was like, did you call about your early water breaking, or like your water breaking, whatever? And I was like, yes. They take me back, get to this room, and I remember sitting down, and they told me like to get into the robe. So I get into the robe, or like the gown, not the robe, the gown that they give you, the hospital gown, get into that. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, I gotta like call my mom. But I didn't want to like call her too early, because it's like midnight now at this point. So it was 22 weeks, like that Thursday night into like midnight, around that time, right? So I was just like sitting there just waiting. Nurse comes through, you know, she does the vital things, asking all the questions, all the things. I'm talking about my twins. I'm talking about, you know, our history, things of that nature. All of the nurses were super sweet that came and like talked to me. A doctor came in, and she checked me because she wanted to make sure that it was my water breaking, that it was amniotic fluid that was leaking. So they did that. They checked me, and she did like a swab, put it in a little tube, came back maybe like 10 minutes later, and was just like, I don't even need to look at this. Like, your water's breaking, like by the color, things like that. So I'm like instantly like, okay. And I'm like squeezing my hands. I'm like closing my, like, I'm like not there, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not there. So a little bit later, my doctor finally comes. She was in surgery. So she's like, hi. Like, she was like, I just saw you. I was like, I know. And she's like, okay, we got two options. We could take these babies now, or we can let the babies tell us when they want to be born. And in this moment, nothing is computing. Nothing is making sense. Nothing sounds right. And everything just goes like blank for me. I remember her leaving. I'm just like, can we have some time to think about it? And she was like, yeah, and I'll bring like a NICU doctor up here to like talk to you about your options. And I just remember looking at my husband and crying and saying, like, I don't know what to do. And he's holding my hand and we're talking, and I'm like, what does everything mean? And my husband kind of helped me. Like, they're basically saying, like, they can like wait naturally for you to dilate, and we can wait until the babies tell us that they want to be born by me dilating and me going into active labor. Or they could do a C-section and they could take these babies right now. And in that moment, I was like, I think this has to be up to them. Like, they are going to have to tell me that they want to be born right now. I'm not forcing that. I didn't want to move in fear. So, that point, I called my mom, let her know the options, told her the things. And it's like midnight and I'm calm because I never want to sound frantic on the phone with my parents. Never. Because they are so protective and I don't want to worry them in the middle of the night. And they went through my loss of my son. I don't want to do that. So I have a calm tone and I'm like, actually I have my phone right here. And I'm like, hey, so my water broke. And I'm literally speaking just like this. My water broke. I'm at the hospital. They gave me 2 options. And I'm going to wait until the babies tell me that they want to be born. And my mom's like, what? Like, she's like, what? Like on the phone. And I'm like, my water broke. Like trying to like reiterate and like calm it down still. So that happens. Sorry, I see my husband on his skateboard. On his longboard. He would be so mad at me if I said skateboard. On his longboard. So I called my mom. My mom tells my dad. They told me they're going to come up in the morning because it's like midnight. And they take me to my room. And this is where things get dicey. Because I told my doctor my option. I told her that I wanted to wait until these babies tell me that they want to be born. She said, all right. So they start talking about, by the way, the NICU nurse did come in, but I'm going to be completely honest. I went blank when he came in. I don't remember anything that he told me besides that they will just be little babies. That's about it. Like that they're just going to be premature babies. That's all I remember. So I'm not going to go into that topic a little bit too much because I really don't remember him coming that night. It was all a blur, but I remember significant events, if that makes sense. So after I told her that, she was like, all right. And it was like the ball just started rolling. A nurse comes in and she's just like, hey, so we're going to get you started on this magnesium drip, meaning you're going to have a catheter because you're not going to be able to get up and go to pee because with the magnesium drip, it makes you constantly want to go to the bathroom and you can't get up because your water already broke and there's no reason for you to be getting up right now. So I'm just like, okay. Then they gave me this shot, which is supposed to help with my baby's lung and brain function. So that goes right in like literally like the top part of like your hip, basically. It's kind of like that type of area. And I get that. I think it was like for 2 days, 24 hours. I think it was 2 days for 24 hours that they can do that, right? So yeah, start that. I get the shot first and then I go up to the room. And when I go up to the room, that's when the magnesium drip starts. And my doctor's like, yeah, this is going to make you feel like crap. So, if you need to throw up or anything like that, like, people say that it makes you super hot. I don't know if I felt super hot during the magnesium drip. I definitely got sick Like as soon as they put it in, I was like, oh yeah. And I didn't even really eat a lot that night, but I threw up. And I just felt like, oh, like I felt like I had like the flu or something. Like you just feel like really, really sick, right? So in the process of doing the magnesium drip, they have to do the catheter, right? So they're basically checking my cervix because, like I told you, I had that surgery, the cerclage. The cerclage was supposed to be removed at 36 weeks. And funny enough, that would be this Saturday. And so at 36 weeks is when it's supposed to be removed, or like when you're going into labor, right? So she was just like, well, if it stays intact and there's nothing like coming through, like no, like the sac, like the actual amniotic sac is coming through, then we're just going to remove it because then it's not doing anything, right? And then after that, she basically was just like, okay, yeah, we're going to go ahead and remove it. And she said like it was literally coming through like this. And then I remember her saying like it did its job. And I was like, no, it didn't. Like it didn't do its job, or I wouldn't have like my water wouldn't have broke early. I don't know what she meant by that. I don't really know. But I remember that. She was like, yeah, so it did its job. She takes it out. It hurt so bad. And maybe it was because I was like overstimulated. I was overly emotional. And at the same time, as she's taking the stitch out, she puts a catheter in. So that was fun. And I'm just like in pain now. I'm frustrated because I'm like, now I gotta sit here. And now they're putting these wraps on basically to monitor the baby's heart rate and heartbeat, because they did check that they are kicking constantly. My son, I had a boy and a girl. My son is low. He's very, very low. My daughter now has all this space, so she's kicking me. She's all around. She was moving about. Okay, she was moving about because at first I believe it was my son that was breached, and my daughter was right side, like up, I guess you could say. Like she was the perfect way that she needed to be. And then everything switched where he's perfectly head down and now she's breached. So me and my husband, we're just kind of just about to go to sleep, I guess. And they are like, all right, we'll talk to you in the morning. Because they didn't know when the babies were going to come after they took the cerclage out, right? So after they took the cerclage out, it was like all up from there, basically. And I felt like little twinges here and there, but like it felt like kicking to me. And to be honest, I think it was also fear talking. And I was like, I'm not going to have these babies today. Like, I'm just not. The morning goes past. And I wake up and, they're basically giving me the shot in the morning. They're still monitoring my babies. That was really nice. Like I can hear them all night, just kicking away, heartbeats, all that. And then that next morning, I get these two nurses, which I will love forever. They were the best. And they come in and they're constantly checking on me. And actually the one nurse, she drew my blood during my cerclage. So it was really cool to see her again. And we got to talk a little bit. And she kind of remembered me after I like told her a few times. And they were just super nice. We got to talk to another doctor. And this doctor basically was like, yeah, so we're thinking of doing an epidural for you. So that way, if these babies do come, and it's through C-section because my babies are breached. Sorry, some dude was like talking to my husband and I was like, what the heck is happening? Because one of my babies was breached, she was like, we're gonna have to do a C-section. So they did want to do an epidural, and that's where like I called my mom again, and like I let her know, because she had came down in the morning. She was there, my mother-in-law was there, and that was when she had like left. They went to like the store. They probably went to get something to eat. I can't really remember like where they went, but they left. Doctor comes in, she talks about the epidural with me and my husband, and every time that they ask, do you have any questions, I look over at my husband, because like I can't compute unless like I have a concern about my babies, like nothing, right? So then my husband, he was just like, whatever's safest, and he did have like a few questions about what it would do to me, and how it would affect me. So we discussed it, and she said, well, like, this isn't just saying that you're going to automatically have the epidural, or that you're automatically going to have a C-section, because the babies are in a further time right now. What?
I'm sorry.
What?
I'll just hang out here. I just want to let you know I'm back.
I'm about to end it in a little bit.
Okay. All right, go ahead.
Okay. So she basically discussed that we didn't have to have the epidural, that the medicine itself could be shut off. And with that the medicine could be shut off, I kind of was just like, okay, like, we'll just do it, just to do it. And that is where I will leave this for today. And we will jump into how the epidural almost killed me. I want to thank you guys first for my first video diary, for listening, and I want to let every woman know that has ever been through infant loss, that has incompetent cervix, that has had their water break early, that has been in the NICU, that you're not alone. And I want to make it clear that I am always here to talk. Put a comment down if you need to talk, if you need anything. I'm still going through it. This was in June, and we will get into how I lost them and the days that I lost them, but we will discuss that at a later date. So I just want to thank you for listening, and I also want to say that God is close to the brokenhearted. I hope and pray that you guys hear me clearly, that God is close to the brokenhearted, and I hope that you guys have a great support system, that you have an amazing relationship with any higher power that you believe in. I believe in Jesus. Find support groups, find a community. I just hope that it's just talked about more. This is something that a lot of women don't discuss, and it's not a silent thing. It shouldn't be a silent thing. We have to speak out. We have to stand up for each other. We have to stick up for each other and stick together. So, thank you, and I will see you guys in my next video.